So you're wondering, why do I keep getting interrupted each and every single time I'm talking? Like, you'll make a genuinely, objectively good, valid point, but then someone else can say the exact same thing and not get interrupted. Now, here's the thing. It's not about your lack of abilities, because you are competent. You have the brain, but you're getting filtered out. And then you end up having a reaction currently when someone interrupts you. And then that really affects the way you speak later on, because then it lowers your self-esteem. And then it builds this hyper-awareness and hyper-vigilance, because then you're afraid of getting interrupted or ignored again. But now here's the thing. Yes, you're reacting to an interruption at the present moment. But what you are forgetting is all the 50 different times in the past that you got interrupted by people. And so you might think that people are interrupting you because of XYZ reasons right now. For example, let's say you're at a family dinner and you're talking, you want to share something to the rest of the family, but then your aunt or your uncle comes in and interrupts you. You end up reacting, or you think you're reacting to that present moment, which then makes you feel unworthy, unvalued, and disrespected. But that's actually not the case. It's the 50 other times that either they have ignored you or that other people have ignored and interrupted you. And it's these patterns in the past that are actually making you lack the confidence, the competence, and the clarity, the 3 C's that I talk about. And all of this past pattern causes a perception that you have of yourself and of others, which then unconsciously affects the way you act and behave in those conversations, which then reinforces the 50 times you got ignored. It reinforces that pattern, and it keeps it going every conversation that you're having. So you have to be aware of this key distinction. Yes, you are getting interrupted in the moment, and you're having a certain reaction. Maybe you're upset, you're mad, resentful, which then affects the way you talk the next time in a conversation. And if you use that logic, I'm sure you've been interrupted multiple times, not just one time. And it's this pattern in the past that really makes your perception of yourself just completely not ideal for future conversations. So once you understand this difference, then you can start to be aware to choose different frames, or pre-frames as I like to call it. Because think about it, when you are speaking with other people, not even the moment when a word comes out of your mouth, they will subconsciously decide whether or not they're going to interrupt you. But when you do a pre-frame, it sets up a foundation for what you're about to say in the conversation. So I know personally a good example I like to use, and that I use quite often, is that when I want to ask someone a question, I don't just ask the question. I catch their attention, I anchor myself. I use a hook. And hooks can be questions or statements or whatever you like. But when I want to ask a question to someone, I ask, hey, do you mind if I ask you a question? And then usually they'll say, yeah, go ahead. And then I ask my question. You see, that's a little bit different as to what a lot of people do. As to what I used to do, I would just ask the question. And have I gotten ignored? Yeah, a few times here and there. But ever since I started to use this anchor, this pre-frame as I like to call it, to ask people, hey, do you mind if I ask a question? I get a response. And then I can actually ask my question and they will be paying attention to what I have to say. So when you learn how to use these different types of pre-frames, hooks, anchors, it will really help people to pay attention to you, to not ignore you, to not interrupt you. Because when you use this pre-frame, it sets people up as if you're going to say something important. And which, yes, I do think that what most people say are important. I think we should all be valued. Are there some things that are maybe less important to context? Sure. But I truly do believe that everyone should be valued for what they say. Not everyone is aware of what they're doing, because a lot of this ignoring and interrupting, it happens subconsciously or consciously, which is terrible. You don't want to be friends with those people. You don't want to be around that type of environment. So thanks for watching the video. If you haven't, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, and I'll show up on your feed more if that's what you want. If you would like to join the membership of the Wise Minds, where I will do in-depth, detailed videos on whatever topics that you want me to do, rather than just these 5 to 6 minute videos. And you can ask me questions, and there's other perks of the membership. So if you'd like to subscribe to that membership, the link is below. So see you in the next video.